Just like any other craft, sketching or drawing is a very broad thing to learn. Whether you're trying to learn using the manual methods like pen and paper, which is my favorite, or using digital ways like your laptops, iPad, tablets, still for me, it is very important to learn how to use references like books, PDFs, guidelines, or even have a teacher or a mentor per se. By the way, welcome to Prem, wherein we talk about the love for learning any creative endeavors from sketching to art and design. If you're new here, I'm Prem, an architect here in the Philippines and also your creative classmate here in the creative school. There's a lot of seats here, so make sure to study and learn with me. In this video, we are going to be studying about how to do straight lines, but of course, now using a reference called How to Draw. How to Draw is a book by Scott Robertson with Thomas Bertling. Scott Robertson is an amazing industrial engineer and designer. And so if you're interested in learning the fundamentals of sketching, of course, starting out with the fundamentals is being able to create lines. And so let's get started. It is very important, of course, to set up your workspace. Before anything else, you need to clear your space to be able to stay focused. Just like any other thing, you should be only focusing on the thing that you should be doing. The exercises that we're going to be talking about may seem very simple, but to do them well means burning through some paper to build the necessary muscle memory. So understand that what we're trying to build here is muscle memory and the skills that we need in order to be able to create something nice, whether that's a product in the future or something that being able to present or to communicate visually to other people without the use of any technological advancements is something that I guess is worth trying. One tip that I realized as well is whenever we're trying to make strokes, there are different ways to do it, from using your wrist, your finger, or even your arms. So the first exercise that the book is telling us is to do parallel lines. It's just making a simple stroke, but here he demonstrates that we should be working on shorter to longer lines. So as you can see here, what I did is I first did a short length stroke, and then there's a medium size, and then what I'm going to do for the last one is the longest size. One point here that I want to share is that I'm using an A3 paper. It's better to use, for me, a bigger paper so you can have more strokes, and you can also have different sizes of strokes. By this, you can practice not only, again, your fingers for shorter strokes, but your whole arm as well in terms of making longer strokes. The next exercise that the book has discussed is aiming lines point to point. As simple as it may sound, you should just be connecting the dots from one point to another. You can make different sizes, you can do different angles, and you can actually rotate your paper so the stroke of your line would not be inconsistent. Rotating your lines doesn't mean you're cheating. The next one is by drawing lines that meet in one point. Basically, you should start to draw at any point outside of the center, draw a line through the center, and continue. Oh, kamusta? Ginagawa mo na ba yung exercise? But before we get into the next exercise, I would like to pitch in my Discord community where we talk about some stuff about art, design, architecture, and of course, sketching. Also, your enrollment fee or your tuition fee for this channel, The Creative School, is by subscribing, liking, and commenting down below. Cheers! Next, or the third exercise, is drawing boxes in perspective. We're not going to be discussing about the fundamentals of perspective, but rather we're just going to use this for us to practice drawing straight and confident lines. The HL stands for horizon line. Make sure to just draw a horizontal line and then have a center or the vanishing point. Draw a couple of points on the page and connect them. So draw a rectangle and connect each corner to the VP or the vanishing point or the point that we made in the middle. Draw another rectangle in the distance between these lines and now you have a box. Draw through, which means to draw even the edges that would not be seen because they are behind the box. Complete the box with the light construction lines, then darken the inside edges and the outlines of the box. As you can see here, my last couple of boxes, I wasn't able to do any line weight for it, so it kind of seemed like very unorganized, or it seemed like there was no hierarchy in the line weights. We are going to be having another video regarding this one, but again, everything that we're talking about here are exercises for you to get better with drawing straight lines. So according to the book, XYZ coordinate system is not an exercise, but rather it's an understanding for us if we really want to be able to improve our sketching up until the perspective lessons. Each axis points towards a vanishing point. As you can see here, since our paper is a 2D plane, we're trying to make a better understanding of 3D through these planes. We have Z-axis, which is the one pointing vertically, and then there's X-axis and Y-axis. Since these are axes, the planes that go in through the X-axis, Y-axis, and Z-axis are called their own planes as well. Correction for that one, that should be Z-plane. The system is used not only to sketch boxes but for all complex forms. So to draw a box where no side is perfectly perpendicular to the viewer, 2-point perspective is needed. What we did earlier is 1-point perspective, wherein there was a perpendicular line to the viewer, and that's the square facing us. Similar to what we did earlier, we should be having an HL or horizon line. Since this is a 2-point perspective, meaning we should be having 2 vanishing points. Those 2 points, that's where the lines will be converging or going into. Extend every line. Extend the x-axis and the y-axis lines from the bottom of the vertical until they intersect on the horizon line. For the next video, we are going to be discussing about projections and perspectives, the fundamentals of these and its use. Why do we need to understand this? So for now, make sure to just do the exercises that we're talking about here, because it is always better for us to do something once we have learned something. Information is going to be unuseful if we won't make any action towards it. By the way, I also have a free PDF guide about mastering lines by sketching. So if you want to get this, get into my Discord server. That's link is under the description. We have 3 exercises here. Some are similar, of course, here in the book, but some are also taken from different courses that are made by different artists and designers as well that you might actually learn from. So there you have it. Using the book How to Draw is very essential for me. Of course, it is not like something that would make you instantly good in everything in your whole creative endeavor, but I believe it is something that once practiced a lot of times, using it with a lot of repetitions, you will be able to have a muscle memory of using straight lines. If you are an artist, designer, I believe this is very useful for you. And I also have another exercise about lines here, or if you are interested with something to do with architecture in the Philippines, why not click this one? So, see you in the next one. Peace.